Okay, we are back to our water fluoridation investigation. Today, I want to discuss more about the individual who spoke in Spotsylvania County regarding water fluoridation. I thought that the best way to get you guys caught up to date is just to play the video and hear what he has to say, and we can go from there. So let's get started, guys. Okay, guys, so we're going to watch two videos with Larry plating. The first video is going to start off where Larry Plating walks over to the Board of Supervisors and turns in a public comment handout. Now, I was very interested in this material that Larry Plating had, but Spotsylvania County no longer possesses those records. Now, I do find it interesting that Spotsylvania County managed to retain the records that was pro-fluoride, but did not retain the records that was anti-fluoride. So the pro-fluoride records, they managed to keep and hold on to. The anti-fluoride records are, they disappeared into Never Never Land. Pay close attention to what Larry Plating is going to say in this video. He's going to start off by explaining that he's grateful that fluoride is no longer in the infant formula. This is important because babies were getting exposed to so much fluoride through formula and through fluoridated water that their teeth were getting really jacked up and turning, having splotches on them and brown spots and so forth. Then he's going to go into what I feel is the most important to what we're going to be discussing in the future. Whereas he asked the county, under what authority are you putting fluoride in the drinking water? The county has been silent on this issue, which indicates that they do not actually have the authority to be putting fluoride in the drinking water. They do not have an ordinance that authorizes this, and there is no state law that allows for Spotsylvania County to put fluoride in the drinking water. No state law clearly and expressively says that localities can put fluoride into the drinking water. So that's important to know, and we're going to dive into this topic a little bit deeper so you can understand. So pay close attention to what he's saying because it's very important, and I just don't want you to miss anything. Okay, so let's get started.
Larry Plating, followed by Stacy Harrell.
My name is Larry Plating. I'm from the Cortland District here in Spotsylvania County. I do drink the water here. I would like to thank the Board of Supervisors for giving me a hearing on the matter of fluoridation. I'd also like to thank the members who contacted the head of Glaxo Pharmaceuticals Quality Control Division to find out about the toxicity that was their concern when they made sure that they got non-fluoridated water to put in their Infamil when they were producing it. The water bill I get from the county contains no hazard warnings, and the FDA does not regulate our water supply. They do regulate the fluoride in toothpaste, though. How ironic, if we stop fluoridating the water, the people could buy a safe product regulated by the FDA that they could administer to themselves in a controlled manner using good pharmacological practices. Sounds a lot like liberty, doesn't it? When God created the institutions of family, civil government, and church, he gave explicit boundaries of authority to each of those institutions. My claim is, and has been since I started this crusade, Jeff Branscom's words, not mine, that the Board of Supervisors usurped the rights of the family in 1981 when they began medicating the people of Spotsylvania County. They exceeded and continue to exceed their authority every time they vote the budget for the chemicals to medicate the water. In 2017, I asked you, by what authority do you medicate the people? Your lack of an answer suggests that you do it outside the authority of your charter. This is not the government's business. Another question I ask you is to ask the CDC, what does the data on the carries look like for the 25% of the United States counties that do not fluoridate the water? If they have it, I conjecture it looks surprisingly similar to their current results, making fluoridation the sacred cow that gives no milk. Current CDC data is merely anecdotal as it relates to water fluoridation, as it measures all factors relating to dental improvements, and there have been many in the dental profession and in other areas. They have not, in my estimations, been fully above board in disclosing the facts they do know. How could they not know that our neighbor to the north, Canada, has experienced no increase in caries after removing fluoride from the water of the entire country? Maybe you can find out those answers tonight, as they should have a pretty good representation here. My intelligence suggests that the body of lobbyists encouraging your continuing tyranny of a bad practice of voting for medication of the people have won the day. The fluoride bureaucracy will remain intact. The people lose the right to choose, so most will consider, in a personal quest to keep the dangerous ubiquitous ion from getting into their bodies, filtering and buying the thousands of gallons of bottled water from our local providers. I hope those here who encourage the practice of fluoridation recognize the bad pharmacological practice.
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired.
Okay, let's play the next video. Okay, guys, so Larry Plating is going to give some of his credentials. He is a water and research chemist and has been a water and research chemist for more than 50 years. I believe he says he's an IOS 9005 examiner and clandestine operator and technical advisor for the Central Intelligence Agency. He also did research in minerals, so he was a mineral researcher, and trace minerals. He did research in trace minerals to destroy biological organisms. In case you're unclear about what biological organisms are, you and me are biological organisms. So he studied trace minerals to destroy biological organisms. So let's hear what Larry Plating, a water and research chemist for more than 50 years who worked for the CIA, has to say.
To also ask for the extra 2 minutes if I need to say I'm representing the Fluoride Action Network, and that would, you can put it under that group, which is a recognized group.
Without objection?
Without.
Okay, you got it, Larry.
Okay. Good evening, my name is Larry Plating. I live at 50. I have credentials as a water research chemist, an ISO 9005 examiner, and clandestine operator and technical advisor for Central Intelligence Agency. I've worked in water research as well as trace materials research, and am aware of the power of trace materials to destroy biological organisms. I will not be sharing in those areas this evening. I will also not use a line I used to use, which I called the world's second greatest lie. I am from the government, and I'm here to help you. I am no longer from the government, and by the grace of God, I am here to help you. As Providence would have it, I spent Thanksgiving with the former head of Glaxo Pharmaceuticals Quality Assurance Division. Happens to be my brother, Steve Plating. I mentioned my crusade to remove fluoride from the county system, and he congratulated me to continue my efforts. He mentioned that Glaxo spent millions to ensure there was no fluoride in their infant formula products due to its neurotoxicity. This was back when they marketed a liquid product. Times have changed, it's now a powdered product. I asked myself, why did Glaxo care when my own county board of supervisors doesn't seem to? And then I remembered that my brother had complained of the fact that he had more lawyers working for him than scientists. So upon returning home, I received a call this evening that the Board of Supervisors was going to receive a report on an expert on fluoride. Providence. I am looking forward to hear that expert testimony tonight. I have more information than time to share it, so let me rattle off 5 areas of concern shared by the Fluoride Action Network. IQ loss and memory function, loss of learning function in children and adults, bone cancer, that's Harvard studies, kidney damage and disease, impairs proper thyroid functions and impairs other endocrine system function. I claim no expertise on fluoride per se, but having been a chemist for over 50 years, I do know fluoride is a tenacious ion and is hard to get rid of once you have it. The government blames its other form, covalently bonded hydrogen fluorides, for destroying the ozone layer and won't let us use it in refrigeration anymore, but they will encourage us to take hazardous silico fluorides and put them in our drinking water. I send you a link to the Fluoride Action Network to watch a 28-minute video by Michael Conant on 200 plus studies which have been conclusively proved the loss of both memory and learning related to fluoride intake in the body. I hope you watched it. New information on infants. Infants receive up to 400% more fluoride per pound of body weight than adults and have less ability to excrete it from their body. They can only get rid of 15 to 20% of it versus 50% for adults. This means that fluorides can build up in their bodies to dangerous levels. Over 1 part per million is considered dangerous by the researchers in the field. Nowadays, most infant formulas are powdered, so caregivers have the opportunity to inadvertently poison their own infants by mixing it with county tap water. Two major areas of concern, like I said, times are changing. Maybe we need to change with them. Two major areas of concern in infants: dental fluorosis, because of fluoride buildup, causes yellow teeth. I think I mentioned last time that I came from the first water plant to put in fluoride. They put it in the year before I was born, and I've had yellow teeth ever since. Anyhow, neurological toxicity is one I'm more concerned about because the blood-brain barrier is not perfectly formed in an infant, and toxicity can enter in and cause dementia and other problems with small babies. When a dentist prescribes a fluoride solution to be applied to the surface of the teeth, a warning label is applied to that bottle. It says, spit out that stuff, don't swallow it, and yet we put it in our drinking water. My gosh, what a schizophrenic culture we have. When the pharmacist makes up the solution, they say, U.S. pharmaceutical grade sodium fluoride. I'm asking you guys, is the grade of fluoride we put in our water pharmaceutical grade? If 13,000 is what we spend for it, I doubt it very much. I think it's probably waste treatment. Anyhow, the last comment I mentioned begs another. All the chemicals produced by our water treatment plant are used to do the water treatment. Fluoride is used to treat people, not water. Therefore, the addition of fluoride is outside the scope of mission for the water treatment plant. Let's just treat the water and not treat the people. Leave that to our doctors and other physicians and other dental providers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fran Taylor, followed by Pete DeShaw.
I mean, you gotta love the guy. You gotta love the guy. Let's go out of this. Okay, you gotta love Larry Plating, right? The guy's amazing. It was really fun to see that his talking points are very similar, if not the same, as my talking points. And I did not even know that this guy existed until about 2 weeks ago. So just as a recap, I wrote down his information in my handy dandy notebook. And he had a lot of credentials behind him. He said he was a water and research chemist for more than 50 years. So that in itself would make you think that the board would take him, really seriously. He also then said that he is an iOS 9005 examiner and clandestine operator and technical advisor for Central Intelligence Agency. So he did secret operations for the CIA. That's super impressive. He also did research in minerals, and this is the most disturbing. He was a researcher where he did research in trace minerals to destroy biological organisms. Remember, you and me are biological organisms. So he did research in trace minerals to figure out which trace minerals destroys biological organisms. What type of biological organisms, I don't know. But that in itself tells you that he has the background to understand whether or not fluoride is safe to ingest through our public drinking water. Now, some of the board members did take him very seriously. Okay, so I can say that there were a few board members that had a conscience and, possessed reading comprehension. Well, essentially what happened, if you go back and look at the minutes of the meeting or the videos, a bunch of people came out of the woodworks from all over and persuaded the majority of the board members to keep fluoride in the drinking water. A bunch of dentists flew in from out of state in order to speak, and Virginia Department of Health put together a PowerPoint, and there were some folks from health department. I'm not sure if it was VDH health department, but I know it was the health department, and persuaded the board that this is something that should be done. What disturbed me the most is that, if you recall in that first video, Larry says, under what authority are you doing this? There is no state law that authorizes localities in Virginia to put fluoride in the drinking water. So, in my opinion, in order for water fluoridation to have been done in a legal manner, well, one, you would need it to be safe. Okay, we know it's not safe. Two, you would need to have a compelling government interest to use the water to put drugs in the water, because fluoride is defined as a drug. So let's say you got over the first two hurdles and everybody's rah-rah, this is a great idea, it's safe, it's fabulous, it makes sense, there's a compelling government interest to invoke such a police power. You would then need to have a state law that authorizes localities to put the fluoride in the drinking water. And once you did that and gave the localities the option to do so, then you would need an ordinance, okay? Spotsylvania County did not satisfy any of the criteria that I just listed. They have no ordinance. There's no state law that would authorize them to do it. They have no information on the safe level, and I couldn't figure out what the compelling government interest is in order to use the water works to compel the public to ingest drugs, okay? So Mr. Plating brought up these issues, and it seems to fall on deaf ears. He asked, under what authority are you doing this? And he was met with silence. That would indicate to him and to me that water fluoridation is not being done lawfully. Are they spending the taxpayers' money in a lawful manner? In my opinion, based on my assessment, they are not. And again, we're going to have to cover this in much detail, because it seems to folks seem to have a really hard time imagining that a county such as Spotsylvania County, that supposedly has been putting fluoride in the drinking water since 1981. That's what Larry Plating said. And I'm just going to go on that. I haven't independently checked that. It's hard to imagine that fluoride has been put in the water since 1981 in Spotsylvania County without any legislative authority, okay, to put it plainly. There hasn't been any legislative authority. So he again says, every year when you guys vote the budget to spend money on this fluoride program, you are doing so unlawfully. Okay. So anyway, that is all I have to say about that. Larry Plating is amazing. The people that have paved the way for us to get as far as we have has been amazing. And a lot of these people don't realize that they made a difference, because this was all the way back in 2017. Okay, so these things matter, and the fact that it's on the record matters. Okay, so make sure that you guys never give up, never think that you're a victim. You have the power to do something about it, and the biggest power you have is the fact that you're courageous and you're using your voice to speak up. Nobody can take that away. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be courageous, okay? You do not have to have money to be courageous. You can just use your voice. So anyhow, that's all I have to say about that. And I suppose on this next video, I will kind of take you through the step-by-step as to why I feel that Spotsylvania County does not possess the legal authority to put fluoride in the drinking water. So, okay, see you next time. Bye, guys. Oh, make sure that you give a thumbs up. Make sure that you leave a comment below, and make sure you share this with others if you like the video. So, okay, see you soon. Bye, guys.